In today's episode, how I ended up having 2 weeks of playing video games, watching Netflix, and actually sleeping in the office. The future's so bright I gotta wear shades. I only want a battery. So let's get started. How I ended up having 2 weeks of playing video games, watching Netflix, and actually sleeping in the office. So, some backstory. I live in a third world country. Working here is pretty shitty, especially if you work with a shitty company. Laws lean heavily in favor of the employer, and the ones that punishes them aren't really enforced that well. This started late 2019. I was working as a graphic designer in a pretty shitty company. I was their only graphic designer for over 2 years by that time. I had another colleague, but he left the company before me, and as many small and shitty businesses at the time, we were struggling with late salaries. The thing about this company is though that not everybody had late salaries. Unfortunately, I had a lot of them. They managed to compile over the years, and by the time it got to 6 late salaries, I've had enough and decided to do something about it. I was actively looking for another job, but the market was shit, so emailed my employer and told him that I won't be coming to the office anymore. I'll be working from home until they pay me at least half of what they owe me. He said fine, work from home. After a couple of weeks, I've started to slack off. I couldn't find it in me to work anymore. Tasks that used to take me 10 minutes started taking me a couple of hours. And after a month or so of this, the manager called me and asked me to come to the office because he needs to talk to me about something. I was like fine, I'll pass by when I'm free. I went there after a couple of days, and we sit and talk. I noticed some graphic designers' resumes on his desk, so I get what's going on. He says, I'm sorry to say this, but the CEO said that he had enough of you, and he wants me to fire you. I burst out laughing uncontrollably. It's as if I heard the funniest joke ever. When I calmed down, I said fine by me, give me my money and I'm out of your hair. He said fine, we are hiring 2 new graphic designers, and we need you to hand over all the files that have to them. I said fine, I want to be as professional as possible. One thing that's worth mentioning is that this company had only 2 computers fit for design work. So I am entitled to all my bending salaries plus a notice period, which is a month since I've been working there for over 2 years plus a vacation/ticket salary. Next month, the new designers come, introduce myself and start the process of the handover. Luckily I'm a pretty organized person, especially when it comes to workspace. All my files are well organized, so the handover didn't take more than a week. I stayed for another week teaching them the ropes, since they were new to the workforce and didn't have that much experience in the field. So by the end of the second week I hand over my computer to the new guy, and then the manager called me and told me to go to the accountant to get my money. When I went there to take my checks, I noticed that it wasn't everything. I knew exactly what I was owed by them, and the amount they gave me it wasn't full, so I asked the accountant, and he said that the manager told him that my notice period is just 2 weeks, and after doing some calculations that's the exact amount that was missing, 2 weeks of my notice period. I said F***ck no, it's a month and I will take every last penny of it. So I stormed to the manager office and told him that I want my money full. He said that since they don't need me anymore, and since the new recruits are good, you don't need to come over anymore, so we'll pay you for 2 weeks and you may not come next week. I said no, I will take all the money that you owe me, and I am owed a month's worth of salary, so I will take it. He said no, you won't take it unless you come for the full month. I said it's fine by me, I can come for the whole month, I don't have anything better to do. Remember how they only had 2 computers? And they hired 2 new designers, so when I came to work on the 3rd week, there was no vacant computer for me to work on, so well, the first 2 days I was there I was just watching Netflix and having fun on my phone. After that I started bringing my Nintendo Switch and its charger with me and playing all day long. Yeah, they were not too happy about it. Spent 2 weeks of me playing games in the office and watching Netflix and just having fun in general. The CEO came one time and found me actually sleeping on my desk. The future's so bright I gotta wear shades. I worked up north in oil and gas doing site facility maintenance, and I started the job when the boom was happening, but we soon started down the backside and cuts were made. In order to cut costs, they cut our overtime, our hours, took away our flights because it was fly in and fly out and generally made life miserable. I could see the writing on the wall, and I was an unticketed carpenter, so I decided to go back to school and get my JM papers. Before I went on my school break, we got a new journeyman, and he asked us how we can live on X amount of wages and pay for our flights as well. We told him that our wages are X plus 10. The company was paying new hires about $10 an hour less than us, which explained why they were trying to get people to quit so that they could replace them with cheaper labor. I had arrangements to do third and fourth year all together, but as my school date was coming up, they started talking about putting off my year 4 F***ing me around. It took me over a year waiting to get into that class, so I wasn't going to put it off. I decided to quit if they F***ed me, but I didn't tell them. So this is near end of the calendar year, and school was November/December for year 3 and January/February for year 4. The first thing that I did was to schedule 100% of my dental benefits for December, me and my 2 kids. I also scheduled whatever else we could do dentally for the new year early January. We also had a Visa account that was $1,000 per year for health spending. You could use it at the dentist for whatever wasn't covered, pharmacy, optometrist, those kind of things. So I went to Joe's Optometry and bought some sweet glasses for reading that had a picture of a horse with a guy with a stick and a little ball on it. I also got every bell and whistle for the lenses. Perfect customer. But that's not the compliance. The salesperson, bless her soul, offered me sunglasses, and I said I couldn't do that, it's only for health. She told me the insurance company doesn't get itemized receipt, they just see Joe's Optical for X amount of dollars. Oh yeah, I'm in with some sweet Ray-Bans with 2 pairs of polarized lenses. No problem. So the company I worked for had a bunch of contracts, and there were about 800 employees in total. I'd say about 60% of them were single male, about 10% females, and the rest married guys. We had a junior Sparky who was all about bling, so I told him he can go to the optometrist with his card and get sunglasses. I told everyone on our shift. F***ck them. Free sunglasses. I might not have overtime anymore, but thanks for the sunglasses. And waited. And nothing happened. I was expecting everyone to be sending messages thanking me for the loophole, but nothing. So I showed my Sparky the receipt and my Visa card number to prove that I had done it. Next day I see him on Facebook with a new pair of sunglasses, saying that he had also ordered some limited edition Ferrari sunglasses from his local optometrist. Initially he didn't believe me, but now he was all in. I picked the Sparky because he was about bling, but he was also with the company since day one, and he knew absolutely everyone, including people on the other job sites. 800 people. Back to me. Because of the turnaround schedule, I was scheduled to go back to work somewhere around January 10th, after they had unilaterally changed the deal. In school we weren't allowed to miss days, so my kids and I had all of our dental work done in the Christmas break on the January side. Lucky for me. I also asked the dentist if I could pay it forward and pay for 2 cleaning sessions sometime in the next year. I used our Visa health card. What was left I went back to the optometrist, and I got 2 more pairs of sunglasses. I used up my Visa card and my yearly dental allowance in the first week of January. I officially quit the day before they forced me back to work. My coworkers told me middle of January there was a company-wide meeting about sweeping changes to the benefit program. They were changing companies to become more streamlined, and the benefits naturally were sharply decreased. The Visa health card vanished. My guess is because they had a $500,000 optometry bill. I finished school in the top 3 and happily had $10,000 worth of dental and $2,000 worth of sunglasses and glasses paid for in the last week of December and first week of January. Not only do I wear my sunglasses at night, but the future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. I only want a battery. I work for an insurance company as a phone repair technician. Mostly cracked screens, but we work on all sorts of issues, including batteries. Even though I work for an insurance company, I'm not exactly fond of the whole concept of insurance, and I will almost always side with the customer as much as I can, especially since my position is entirely up to my discretion. Someone comes into the carrier store I work out of and asks to speak with a tech from the back. Not the usual routine, but it's no problem. I go out to talk to him, and he starts telling me, "I've been paying insurance for the 2 years I've had this phone, I want a new battery." Now, cell phone batteries do start to wear out roughly around 2 years, depending on usage and charging habits. So I say, "Okay, can I take a look?" He gives me his phone and I take a look at his settings and battery usage. Remember, I do believe that his battery is worn by this time and warrants replacement, but I also noticed his screen has severe burn-in. Think old school TVs that have an image permanently burned in from leaving it on too long, and this can take a toll on his overall battery life experience. I point out the screen burn-in to him, and he rudely interrupts me, "Look, I'm not buying a new phone. I've been paying insurance, I want a new battery." I say, "That's fine, I'm not telling you to buy a new phone. I'm a tech, not a salesperson, I absolutely could not care less if he bought a new phone or not." I keep trying to explain with, "Well, the burn-in happens when the screen timeout is set for too long, and that can also result in more battery drain." He interrupts again with, "Listen to me. I'm an engineer. I have network certifications. I know these batteries can be replaced, all I want is a new battery." I ask, "So just the battery then?" He says yes. So I replaced the battery. What he didn't realize was that I was trying to explain how his screen burn-in happened, how he can avoid it in the future, and that I was going to replace his screen as well as a new battery for free. But hey, all he wanted was a battery. Thanks for watching.